Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another reading. Today's reading was inspired by the ancestors, okay? I did just get a new deck in the mail. This deck is the Sacred Path cards by Jamie Sams. And I was just really inspired to do a reading today because I did a reading on myself when I first got them. And the spread I'm using is actually from the book that comes with the deck. And I was just really inspired to do this reading for you guys. And I'm doing it pick a card style. And as I was drawing the cards out, pulling the cards for each pile, because I was only going to do 2 piles because I was being called to do 2 piles. And then I just randomly decided to pull for a 3rd pile, which would be this middle pile here, represented by the Adventurine. And my guides told me that this pile is the bridge. This Carnelian being the divine masculine energy or sacred masculine energy, and then this clear quartz representing the divine feminine or sacred feminine energy. And then again, the middle pile being the bridge. So the spread I'm using in each pile is called the initiation spread. We're going to take a look at the conscious, which is going to be represented by the top row, and then the subconscious, which is going to be represented by the bottom row. The animal totem is going to be the teacher. We're going to have one for the conscious and then one for the subconscious. And then we have one of these cards, the Sacred Path cards, representing the lesson, one subconscious, one conscious. Okay, and then I will also pull cards from the Living with a Feather Heart, or Amenti Oracle is the name of the Oracle deck. And then if I'm feeling guided to, I'll draw from the tarot deck here. This deck is the Spirit Song Tarot deck, if you guys care to know. And the animal deck I'm using is the Animal Dreaming Oracle. And that one is by Scott Alexander King. And I didn't give the author of the other decks, but you know. I'm using multiple decks here. I guess I'll just name them all. I'm using the Earth Warriors deck here by Alana Fairchild, and then this fancy little deck here, Sacred Spirit Reading Cards by Anna Stark. So these messages are to be bestowed upon your ears, okay, at the time you click on this video is when you're meant to hear these messages. There's no time specific, but of course with everything going on right now, my intention is to provide healing, clarity, and insight with the energies occurring right now in the world. So other housekeeping things, especially for my followers who do watch the videos I post frequently, or was posting frequently for the signs. I will get back to doing that at some point. I honestly feel like I just walked through a portal. It's like someone just flipped my light switch back on, and I'm able to see, think, and do things more clearly and with more preciseness, if that's a word, than I was able to before. I was going through a time where everything was just super foggy. I had no energy to do anything. And it just felt like a task to even think about doing things that I enjoyed at that time. I'm not sure what that was. It's not like I was consciously thinking about something that made me feel that way. It was just an energy that had its hold on me, pretty much. And it's funny because the Saturday, March 21st, it's like a light switch went on, and I felt so much more energized. I was able to get a lot of things done that I wasn't able to do before, and I've just been thriving ever since. So I will get back to doing more general readings for you guys if you're interested. And I know that many people probably won't watch this reading. I don't get many views on my more spiritual readings, and that's okay. I know people are more drawn to love readings, and that's perfectly fine because that's where we learn the most about ourselves. And I do want to focus more on love coming into the new week. I was going to say the new year. It's like we're moving or shifting into a new phase or age here. I definitely feel the shifting or the shifting or the welcoming of new energies going on here. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying calm and healthy. And we will go ahead and get into this reading. I will call out each pile. You will pick a pile that calls to you specifically, or you can watch each one. Like I said, they're all connected here. We do possess both the masculine and feminine energies within ourselves, as well as the energies of the lower chakras, the higher chakras, and the heart chakra, combining them both. Lower world, higher world, and the bridge between them. Okay, if you get what I'm saying here. So I would encourage watching all of them, but if you are drawn to a specific pile, I would take note of that pile or just watch just that pile, because there may be a specific message in that pile for you at this present moment. So the first pile we have here is that of the Carnelian, and this is going to be pile number 1. That's the Carnelian stone. This is a grounding stone. It's good for the solar plexus, not the solar plexus, why am I saying that? The sacral and the root chakra, which connects us to the physical realm, which is more of the masculine energy, physical. Pile number 2, we have the green Adventurine. And again, this is going to be representing the gap or the bridge, if you will, the heart center, the heart chakra, that you have to go through in order to access the higher realms. This divine feminine energy here, represented by the clear quartz here. This will be pile number 3. So go ahead, guys, and take a moment to pick a pile that calls you in. And it's after 1 o'clock where I am on the East Coast. I was drawn out of my bed to do this reading. I couldn't sleep without doing it because I pulled the cards earlier, and I told myself that I would do it tomorrow. But then my higher self is like, no, you have to do this today, tonight. Get out of bed, do it. Someone needs to hear this message, even though I'm not going to upload it tonight, probably. But I have faith that it will get out when it needs to be, but it needed to be recorded right now. So that's what I am doing. All right, so if you've had a moment to look over the piles, meditate on them, and choose which one draws you in, or if you're going to watch them from start to finish, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into the reading. We're going to start with this lovely pile number 1. Those of you who have chosen the Carnelian, or masculine energy, physical or lower chakra energies. Place those over here, out of the way. Alright, so like I said, the way this spread is going to work out, I did pull extra oracle cards as well as the bottom of the decks for the oracle cards because I feel like those will have significance here. This was the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this first card here is going to represent the subconscious lesson, which is the field of plenty for pile number 1. The totem animal or spirit animal is the eagle, and that's the number 0 reaching the 0 point spirit or ether. And that's what connects us to this field of plenty, that abundance energy. Okay, moving along for the conscious lesson, and the spirit teacher or animal is the koala for inner journeys. And we have the West Shield, introspection and goals. Okay, so what I will say here, guys, we have the ending of something that sparks the beginning of something new. A new way of being, a new way of thinking, a new way of perceiving reality is what's happening here. And we do have Lena, what must be shall be, which is the energy of the death card for me. It's like things are falling away, or parts of yourself are falling away. The old way of being, your old self, is beginning to slowly shed. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, it is the result of a significant relationship, or just love in general, some love that you're feeling. For a lot of you guys, masculine energy, if you're a male, or if you resonate with the divine masculine label here, this is someone who's touched your heart, okay? This is someone who has gained access to you that no one else has ever been able to. And it's sparking this transformation within yourself. It's sparking this newness that you're feeling, this new perception you're beginning to be able to perceive. At the bottom of the deck for the oracle cards, we had illuminate the shadow, focus on a solution. Okay, so instead of focusing on what has gone wrong, what must be shall be, focus on the lessons that you can learn from what you perceive to have gone wrong. Focus on how you can fix those things, rather than beating yourself up or pointing the finger at other people for how things have transpired. She who rides the owl brings justice. And this is a number 8. This is all about truth and clarity gained through lessons learned. This is wisdom. I feel like this is someone who has made plenty of mistakes or perceived mistakes in your life. There are certain lessons that you had to learn, probably in a difficult way, the hard way. And you're having the time now, this time out now, especially with things going on now. A lot of us are being forced to go within, since we're in the house, since we're not able to leave our homes for the most part. We're granted a lot of free time, or a lot of time alone, or time to just think to ourselves. Even if you have family members, or you're sharing or I can't even say the word right now. If you've come to inhabit a place with other people or another person, it's like, even if that's a factor, there's still this energy of being forced to reflect, being forced to go within. And I don't know what that energy is all about, but it kind of came in with the phenomena, or the pandemic that's going on right now. That energy just kind of came in with that, if you will. And the pandemic just kind of allowed for this energy to be what it is. Okay, so pile number 1. Let's take a look at your lesson and the animal here for the conscious realm, okay? We have the West Shield. This is introspection and goals. And then your totem animal is the koala, which is inner journeys. So like I said, I do feel like a lot of you guys are being forced into a place or a mind frame where you have nothing to do but reflect on the past, what you've done, how you could learn from those things, why they happen. I feel like a lot of you guys are discovering yourselves for the first time. I feel like your life now, up until this point, was just a reflection of ideas and beliefs you've kind of collected from other people or traumas or systems. You've just kind of collected them from those things, collected these ideas or beliefs from those systems or people um, throughout your entire life up until this point. And I feel like a lot of you guys are realizing that what you've accumulated or what you've built thus far has not really been in alignment with who you truly are. And I feel like that's what a lot of you guys are realizing now, being forced into this introspection or time alone. The koala, though, this animal here, it's kind of helping you dive deep within yourself, deep into your emotions, which is where we store a lot of our past traumas, our attachments to things, people, ideas, beliefs. And the koala is like right there helping you navigate those waters, helping you sift through what is yours and what's not yours, and what's serving you and what's not serving you. "23, that reduces to 5, which is a number of change. This introspection is causing a lot of change and transformation within yourself. You have the 10, which is an ending, a number of ending. I feel like a lot of you guys are shifting from a lack mentality or scarce mentality to that of abundance. And that's coming from you being able to reach the 0 point, having shed things that are not yours, things, ideas, beliefs, things that other people wanted you to be, or things that your own ego forced you or wanted you to be. You're shedding those things. You're shedding the outer shell that you've built, that you've displayed to the world of who you are, because you're realizing that it's not you and it hasn't brought you happiness up until this point. So why keep investing in it? Why keep holding it up? Why keep defending this facade? Because it's limiting you. And I feel like a lot of you guys are realizing that this is coming back to the 0 point, connecting to the ethers, connecting to your soul, connecting to source, where you come from, who you truly are, what your soul is calling you to do, what your soul has incarnated this time around to do. Field of plenty, ideas and needs manifested. And we have introspection and goals here as your conscious lesson. On the subconscious, your subconscious mind is supporting your conscious lesson. That's beautiful. And how your subconscious mind is supporting this conscious lesson is you're shifting your energy, you're shifting your vibration into that of abundance, so that you no longer see yourself as limited in who you can be and what you can achieve and who you are, because who you are is constantly evolving and changing, and you don't have to place yourself in a box in order to feel secure, hanging on to this identity, this false identity. I feel like this was This is divine love, abundance filling you at this time. With new love is forming here, eternal union, that's 6, and then 7 here, and then 8. And we have the 3 here, manifestation. 3 is the number of manifestation. So I feel like in this time of solitude and thinking and introspection and shifting and transmuting, you are walking into, whether you realize it or not, you're walking into a new chapter, a new phase in your life, a new phase that is going to fulfill you at the soul level, because it's a phase where you're aligned to who you are at the soul level. This is you no longer perceiving limitations, because those limitations, you realize, were first forced upon you by clinging to ideas and concepts and a false identity that you use to protect yourself. It was a defense mechanism. Guys, I can't talk. I'm so tired. Mechanism. And I feel like a lot of you guys, if you're not coming into this awareness, they're telling me to tell you this. Don't point your fingers or place blame on other people during this time, during this introspection, as you're going down memory lane and you're replaying certain things in your life. It's important that you don't point the finger or point the blame at other people, because that takes away from your own responsibility in those situations. And then it also takes away from your faith or trust in the divine, because everything happens as it should, when it should. And that nothing you've done up until this point has been a mistake. Think of it as a storyline playing out. And you have full control over how the story ends now that you've gained this clarity or awareness on where it is you want to go and who you are and what you have come to achieve or set out to be in this lifetime. And by realizing that, we're able to take ourselves out of the situation as a person, okay? We're able to relate to our situations or our past experiences from a neutral place, not from a place where we're taking things personally, because then we subject ourselves to taking on negative energies from those situations. When we're neutral, we're able to objectively look at those situations, see our part and see the parts of other people, and how those situations gave us what we needed in that time in order to learn or understand what we know now. Okay, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of you guys are unaware. They want me to tell you this. If there's a specific person on your mind and you feel held back by present circumstances or just things you're ashamed of in the past, I don't feel like there's anything you could have done that this person wouldn't be able to fully accept and love you for. Like, this is a very strong connection if you're relating on like a romantic side here. If you're connecting to someone romantically or energetically, this person understands that you were doing the best you could with the level of understanding you had. Okay, this person is not very surface level, okay? That's why they've been able to penetrate you, to touch your heart, to touch your soul. This person has touched your soul. Someone with the capability of doing that is not going to judge you for surface level happenstances or circumstances that may have occurred within your life prior to meeting this person or during your dealings with this person. This person is honestly just wanting or waiting for you to recognize who you are at the soul level, because they've already seen it for themselves. Now they're just waiting for you to see it. For others of you guys, this may be a situation where you're really tested in your faith. You're looking back on past circumstances where you may have not made the best choices. And you're wondering if God or Source Creator can accept and love you for what you've done. And the answer is yes. And that's why you've been granted this second chance to do things differently, to walk forward in a new mindset and a new way of thinking and a new way of perceiving. That was gifted to you from Divine Source. They're taking you back to 0 point. We focus too much on good versus evil. You know, it's easy to place ourselves in either the victim role, the martyr role, or the villain role, when really all or none may apply simultaneously, because neither can exist without the other. And like I said before, sometimes we have to go through the darkness in order to realize the light. Sometimes the darkness is are our best teachers, or our struggles and weaknesses are how we learn the most about ourselves. It's how we find our way to the light. And we are even stronger for having to endure those experiences or addictions or whatever they may have been. Okay, let's get a card from the Amenti Oracle. What should be your focus at this present moment? I offer words of good intent. This is being conscious. Illuminate the shadow. Again, the 3 is a number of manifestation. I offer words of good intent. This is manifestation here. She's sending vibrations out into the ethers. And like a spiral, you know, they always come back. You know, whatever you send back is going to come back. Did I say that correctly? Whatever you send out is going to come back. So be mindful of the energy you're sending out. It's going to always come back to you, even if you are speaking negatively of yourself. That's where negative talk starts anyway. If you're going to judge anyone else, it's because you're judging yourself the same exact way or worse. So be mindful of that self-dialogue, that inner dialogue. What conversations are you having with yourself? What are you telling yourself? Because I feel like you're trying to shift out of that limited way of being, that limited way of seeing things, and moving into that of abundance, having reached this 0 point, shedding the ego. I advance through my own abilities at the bottom of the deck. And the feather representing the truth. her third eye illuminated or circled there, highlighted, and then the heart chakra here. So what you should focus on, again, is those conversations you're having with yourself, for one. What energy you're sending out. And for two, learning to be self-reliant through your faith or devotion in God or source energy, your connection to source energy. All right. I believe that is it. That's all they want to share with us today. So we're going to move on to pile number 2. For those who have chosen the green Adventurine. Okay, welcome, pile number 2. Those of you who have chosen the green Adventurine. These are your messages from the ancestors. The bridge. Alright, so this was at the bottom of the deck. Actually, I lied. This was at the bottom of the deck. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the subconscious lesson and the subconscious spirit animal, the conscious lesson, and the conscious totem. And then the oracle we got for the overall theme is time to cross the threshold. You're being called, you're being invited. This is an initiation. Spiritual evolution as your guidance. Set your heart free. Your heart's leading you here to cross the threshold. Your ego may be stopping you, or your desire to please others, but we're going to jump into that. Your heart wants to be free. You want to be free because your soul wants to be free. It's time to cross that line into the unknown, to leave certain things behind, which is going to require strength. We have the ant card here showing up as your conscious totem. And the conscious lesson you're learning here is prayer and inner peace. And I feel like, and I said this in pile number 1, so if you followed me here to pile number 2, this is another situation where, again, I'm going to say this again, the subconscious lesson is supporting the conscious lesson. Self-reliance is the subconscious lesson. And I feel like for some of you guys, you may be going through a difficult time right now. Some of you guys may be even experiencing what you would call the dark night of the soul, or you may just be particularly lonely or feeling lonely, even if you're surrounded by people. And this, I feel like, is coming through the shift in energy, or your shift in perception, your ability to perceive beyond just the physical. I feel like you're reading people, you're reading energy right now. So I feel like a lot of you guys, if you have friendships or relationships that needed to be closed out some time ago, but you've been holding on to them, or job situations or partnerships, whatever, there's something here that you've been needing to let go of that you haven't quite let go of yet, but you're gaining this new perspective on it for some of you guys, and it's taking you great strength to continue persevering through whatever this is and continue to act like you don't know what's going on. For others of you guys, it's causing, or regardless of what resonate with, regardless of what message you resonate with, it's causing you to feel isolated and lonely. But your soul has called you here. Your soul has led you to this point because your soul wants to be free. Your soul no longer wants to be bound to these people or these connections or this job or this way of being or this way of thinking or this system or this traditional way of thinking, traditional beliefs. Your soul no longer wants to be there. They're trying to guide you back to yourself. This self-reliance is your subconscious lesson, which is the burden basket. I feel like a lot of you guys you may wake up and you realize that a lot of your connections were based on burdens, negative energy that you guys were feeding off of each other or feeding to each other. You may have had connections where you vented a lot to these people in a negative way and vice versa, where it's kind of like you were sharing burdens because you were feeling reliant on these people for some sort of validation or assurance, some form of power. And this could also be vice versa. And I feel like a lot of you guys are now perceiving beyond just the physical and beyond these surface level connections, or beyond this surface level communication you have with certain people or with a job or something. And you feel lonely now. I feel like a lot of you guys are questioning, is this what life is all about? There's got to be more. And you're perceiving that there is more, but am I able to grasp that in this physical reality I'm experiencing right now? And your conscious lesson is to begin turning inward for that validation, turning inward for that love, calling on your ancestors, your spirit guides, the archangels, God, source, energy, creator, whatever you subscribe to, and asking for that strength, asking to be guided to where you need to be, asking for the strength to follow the steps you're being guided to take. And the ant is your guide. So you can think of this animal whenever you're needing that strength. And I'll tell you a quick little story about this ant here, because the ant has been making itself prevalent in my life the past couple of days, or the past day. I'm not going to exaggerate. Past day. Okay, yesterday I had a snack. Ants on the log. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but that's the snack I had yesterday. And my daughter's like, are the ants going to eat this? Ants like this snack? I'm like, no. It's just called ants on a log because the cranberries look like ants on the celery. She's like, oh, okay. And then I walk out in the living room and on TV they're talking about ants. So I'm like, this can't be a coincidence here. And lo and behold, the ant wants to make an appearance in this reading today. So the ant spirit has definitely been channeling through here. Strength to keep moving forward, to ask for the answers, to ask to be shown the way, especially if you're feeling alone. Because I do feel like there is a cycle closing here with, we have two 19s, which reduce to 10, which reduced to 1, and we have the 1 here. 1 for prayer and inner peace. Understanding that by clouding your mind and your energy field with other people's burdens and doing that to other people, it interferes with your ability to feel peace on the inside. Because you're taking on a bunch of confused energies or confusing energies, and you're not sure which ones to feed or which ones to get rid of. You're kind of just harboring them all, you're taking them all in. And it's disrupting your ability to feel peace on the inside with yourself. I don't think it's a coincidence that we have self-reliance and the horse here being this animal totem, the totem for the subconscious. So what your subconscious is wanting, again, is that self-reliance. They're wanting you to go within, to find that mental clarity, to find that emotional clarity, to find the answers you seek instead of seeking externally. And, when you do that, you're thinking of the horse is an animal that has mastered the physical and spiritual realms. Okay, the horse is not bound by any physical limits because the horse is free mentally and spiritually. The horse cannot be swayed in its direction by outer influences. It reigns the physical realm. It's a ruler of its physical domain. This is taking your power back by choosing to, whenever you feel burdened by something, instead of laying these burdens at the feet of someone else, to either relieve them or just listen. I don't want to say just listen, because sometimes we do need someone to just listen to us, but be concerned or be mindful of your intent when you go to people, when you vent. Are you venting with the intention to get rid of some of these burdens? Or are you venting with the intent to kind of get something off your chest in order to feel relief, but not to burden this other person? Because I feel like a lot of you guys may have gone to friends or family members and you share your struggles or what you're going through with the intent to receive some sort of help from other people, and it kind of saves you from having to do the inner work or having to call on your guidance from the inside or source creator. And so it's kind of created this disconnect between you and source, and so you're just kind of out here on your own. You're taking on different people's energies, and it's causing a lot of confusion and chaos within yourself. You don't know who you are. Your identity has been morphed and shaped to fit this way of being and that way of being, and this person's perception and that person's perception. And it's because of that reliance on validation from other people. And of course, if you're relying on validation from the external realm, you're never going to feel peace. So we have energy signature here. The past is in the present. And out of the darkness, the light is born. Okay. So what I feel like the underlying energy here is what I'm getting from this is there's certain cycles you've been repeating throughout your life, this lifetime and or past lifetimes. And the way you'll be able to tell this, and this is coming just from this card and its interpretation in the book, there's a familiarity you're going to feel with certain people or in certain situations. And that's because you have experienced these things before. Okay, but you have a chance to transmute any negative or low vibrational frequencies or energies that come from those experiences and turn them into something positive so that you don't keep repeating the same cycles over and over again, you know? And I feel like this cycle is one of how would you put this? A cycle of codependence, essentially, relying on other people for a sense of purpose, a sense of security, a sense of validation. That's a cycle that you guys have been repeating. And it's been keeping you bound. It's been keeping your soul bound. Your ego may benefit temporarily from these things, but on a soul level, the reason why you can't feel peace or the reason why you can't feel true happiness is because you're going against your heart in these situations, your soul, what your soul needs, what your soul wants. Of course, these things serve to teach us certain lessons, especially with this out of darkness, the light is born. So, I mean, but what I feel like here, and I said that again, when you feel these burdens, you kind of shift them off to someone else, or, yeah. And so you're unable to really see or learn the lessons for some of you guys because you kind of just pawn any burden off onto the next person, or yeah. And some of you guys vent with the intent for someone to tell you that you're right, again seeking that external validation. And they want you to know here that if you haven't gone through these struggles, if you hadn't gone through these struggles, you wouldn't understand the light, you wouldn't understand the goodness of life without experiencing struggles and upheavals, because they're meant to teach some sort of lesson, but you've been avoiding those lessons and repeating the same cycles in energy signature because you kind of cast the burdens off to someone else. Okay, so let's go ahead and get one from the Amenti Oracle deck. And if this is not resonating with you guys, choose another pile. For some of you guys, I'm hearing this is a lesson that's already been learned. And for a lot of you guys, it has to do a lot with unlocking your heart chakra or unblocking it. It's like this lesson has been learned for some of you guys, but if you're watching this reading, it's like, again, energy signature, it's like a cycle. There's a familiarity with this type of energy here. Some of you guys may allow other people to cast their burdens onto you and weigh you down. And again, taking on the energies of other people, it's causing a lot of disruption within your energy field or within your physical environment. A lot of you guys are needing to learn to say no, because a lot of you guys, the reason your inability to say no has kept you chained or bonded to certain people, situations, things, ideas, and beliefs that don't serve you anymore. But these are the lessons you're learning. And I feel like you're going to be a free person. You want to be free. And they're saying you've earned it. If you're resonating with that second message there, just put the burdens down. Put the burdens down. Allow people to be reliant on themselves. Allow other people to learn those tough lessons for themselves. You don't have to be anyone's savior. By doing that, if you love these people, you take away from their own lessons. Like I said, for the first group, for the first message, they don't learn their lessons because they cast their burdens off to other people. And I feel like for the other half of you guys, you take on the burdens of other people, or you're the type of person that the first pile or the first message would go to receive some sort of relief. But in doing so, you kind of take on that person's energy, and then it disrupts your energy field and your physical reality. So it's learning to say no to those people for their own benefit and for your own. Everyone would win. But nobody's winning if you continue to carry burdens that are not your own. It keeps the other person from evolving, and it keeps you stuck as well. So, and then because energy signature is also about being able to perceive the energetic signatures of other people. And this is very interesting when you come into this ability, because you can do it almost instantly. You can do it through social media. It could just be a picture that someone posts, and you can immediately pick up on the energy of the person and their intent for doing certain things. So I feel like a lot of you guys may be coming into that ability, whether you resonate with the first message or the second message. And it's about using that ability to set yourself free from certain situations that are no longer serving you. You don't have to stay in a cycle because it's comfortable, because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, or because it feels safe for those of you guys needing that security, because it's all internally. You just have to turn inward. Okay, let's get one for what you should focus on. What should pile 2 focus on? What should pile 2 focus on? I care for the earth. And at the bottom of the deck, I affirm that all life is sacred. Okay, and I feel like these are definitely related. I care for the earth, and I affirm that all life is sacred. By caring for the earth, we're feeling that connection to all beings on this earth or this planet. And that comes from connecting to source energy, that prayer, inner peace. It's all connected. It's all, it's all a cycle. It's like by enabling, you're doing an injustice to yourself. You're doing an injustice to the person you're involved with, or the people you're involved with. And more things are impacted negatively, whether you realize them or not, by you enabling and not being able to stand in your power and say no. Some of you guys may literally feel like if you love someone, you have to always say yes if you perceive yourself to be helping this person, right? But sometimes our perception is a little off, it's a little skewed. And in this situation, I feel like that's what we're dealing with here. I feel like this overall is really hinting towards you getting more in tune and in touch with who you are at the soul level. And then once you make that connection, it opens you up to then perceive all beings as part of an intricate design, an intricate, intelligent design. And that every being and every person plays a part or a role in this. And that by being an enabler or being someone who runs to the aid of other people or someone who casts their burdens off to other people, you kind of miss your place, or you allow other people to miss their place or their role. So do yourself a favor or justice and take that time out to reconnect to who you are, okay, at the soul level. What it is that makes you happy, what it is that drains you, what no longer deserves your time, attention, and effort, and what it is that does, and then make the necessary changes, movement forward. All right, pile number 2, that has been your message. And we are going to move on to pile number 3. All right, last but not least, we have pile number 3. Those of you who have chosen and resonated with the clear quartz and divine feminine, higher chakra, higher world energy, this is your reading, your messages. For the overall theme, we have the turquoise changing woman. For the guidance, we have secret temptation, being led astray. All right, what is this? Okay, sorry about that. This is the bottom of the deck. We have Power Awakening and Ground Your Light. I'm sorry, it's super late here. I'm tired. If y'all heard me yawn. We have for the soul lesson, Power Place, Earth Connection, or Empowerment. We have Record Keeper, which is all about our connection to Earth, and yeah, we'll get into that. It's crazy how well these decks work together. For the subconscious lesson, we have the Moon Lodge, or Retreat. And for the conscious totem, we have the Broga, just some kind of bird here. It says dance. I don't know if I gave you guys the totem for the subconscious, but it's the whale and it's the record keeper in this deck. All right, so let's dive into this. Sorry, I just heard some noise. I wasn't sure where it came from. All right, let's see. Your conscious lesson retreat. Isn't this fitting though because of what's going on? But of course, Moon Lodge, we're forced to go within, confront our shadow side with the moon here, our darker aspects, and I do feel like that's what this secret temptation is. I feel like there may be some lower energies or thought forms trying to attach themselves to you right now. It's causing a lot of mental confusion or just a lot going on mentally, a lot of conflicting energy going on mentally. Ooh, I definitely feel that. And I'm just being drawn to these two birds here. So like I said, it's like a dualistic thing going on here. It's like a lot going on in this guy's mind. We have the volcano erupting. It's like you have two different energies on your shoulder. If you watch cartoons, usually like in the older cartoons, they would depict the angel and the devil on the guy's shoulder. I feel like that's what this is. Okay? And I feel like with this conscious lesson retreat, it's like if this did not happen, if this retreat did not happen, where you were able to turn off and power down, even if it was just for a day, or maybe that's what you're being called to do if you have not yet been able to do that. It's like an impending implosion. Like it's bound to build up to the point where it finally just erupts. And or you're just drawn so far down a path that conflicts with your soul purpose that it's difficult to get back to the higher vibrations. Because I do feel like you have a lot of lower energies just tugging at you right now. And I feel like there may be a situation presented in your physical reality that allows you to get back on track, to spend time out or time alone away from the energies or influence of other people, to where you can regroup and rebalance. With the dance card here, or the broga, um, this really speaks to, this is the totem animal guiding you through this time. I feel like this flow, it's giving you, or it's wanting to give you the ability to flow gracefully through whatever this is, to cancel out this mental chatter or this lower energy coming in trying to infiltrate and deviate you from the path. I feel like, and they're telling me to say this for a lot of you guys, if you want to connect to this totem, to get out and dance. You not necessarily get out, but you go downstairs or in your living room or whatever, turn on some tunes and just jam out, just flow, be in the moment. Because I feel like a lot of you guys, if you're watching this, a lot of you guys do have that time right now with everything going on to just kind of tune the world out and get into this mode of flowing that dancing allows or provides you with. It provides you with access to tapping into higher energies here. Yeah, because I do feel like you're shadowed. Like there's a lot of shadow energy coming up to distract you right now, or at least temporarily deviate you from the past path. And I'm just getting that a lot of you are going back and forth within your own mind. So yeah, I mean, and dance is also a good form of release. So like I said, this volcano building up and potentially exploding at some point. It's like you get a chance to release that in a positive way through dance. Because I feel like the dark is ultimately wanting to take over here and pull you back down to a lower frequency, a lower vibration, or a lower perception or way of seeing or viewing things. And it's like you've worked so hard to reach these higher levels, but everything is, it's like awakening, they say, is it's like a spiral. We constantly come back to things we thought we knew or understood, and we have a deeper understanding of them. While that may be what's going on here for some of you guys, I do feel like for the majority of you guys, it's literally just you being sucked back down into these lower, denser energies here. They're saying be mindful of what you're listening to or taking in, whether that's food, music, books, any form of entertainment. Just being aware of that, being mindful of that. I feel like this is also your lesson, is learning when to take a break. Because a lot of you guys, the reason why you're in this state, like why you're being bogged down with these lower energies, is because you've been overdoing it. You've been overexerting yourself. It's time to just click off and just do something that makes you happy. Do something that fills you up. For a lot of you guys, they're wanting me to tell you, like, you just dance it away. The subconscious lesson, and in the other two piles, I said the subconscious lesson is supporting the conscious lesson. And this pile, I feel like it's the other way around. Your conscious lesson is influencing the subconscious lesson. So here we have earth connection and empowerment, and this is all about our connection to Mother Earth, which then connects us also to spirit or source, which is what the whale energy is all about as well. And this is all about activating our DNA as well, record keeper. So how this retreat is supporting the subconscious energy, it's by turning off and going within and doing something that fulfills us on the soul level. It's ultimately connecting us back to divine, back to earth, back to ourselves, so that we feel that empowerment again that we once felt prior to these energies coming in and pulling us down. They're calling you back home. They want to reconnect with you so bad. They want you to reconnect. There's a remembrance that occurs once you make this reconnection, an activation of something within yourself that you've forgotten about. They're saying you've strayed too far from them, from source, from your spirit guides. the ancestors, way shores, angels, archangels, whatever you subscribe to, they're calling you back because I feel like you've kind of taken your attention off of them, and that's what is causing you to feel these lower vibrations and causing this, you know, mental conflict or chaos. With the underlying energy here, what was at the bottom of the deck? Ground your light. You're going through an awakening. There's certain light codes being downloaded at this time. Even if you're not connecting to the higher realms right now, you're still receiving these activations, especially with the whale being here as your totem. But you can't tap into this newly downloaded software, if you will, if you're not connecting. For some of you guys, like literally just going outside, taking a walk, sitting in the sun. This is sunbathing right here. When the sun comes out, as soon as you have a chance, just sitting in the sun and soaking up the sun will allow you so much clarity, mental clarity, to kind of relieve some of this conflict or mental fuckery, if you will. Excuse my language. These pools of dark and light, just being still. Yeah, this is all about getting grounded or reconnecting to the earth, to the cosmos.